Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we're easily in tier 28, so let's see how we did on our defense this week. Not too many replays this week, so the video is going to be probably shorter than usual, but boy do we have some interesting teams this week. And of course, with Elimine bonus, this defense has even less chance of doing anything useful, so... Double plus 10 Marissa. We can see this person is totally not a Marissa fan. And, let's see, 87 HP, pretty solid for tanking stuff. You're gonna start out with Blade Yarn, getting that nice one-shot. Pretty clutch there, and of course I can't do too much. Sudden Panic pretty useful here because, for example, Brave Erica's attacks Speed Menace doesn't really help her out as much. So they're just gonna hit and turn again. And Duma is running kind of a jank build, but as you can see, Erica unable to kill, but because she's unable to kill, Olivia can fling herself in and pick up a kill. But that's about all we're going to get, because at this point Duma is just going to be a sitting duck. Or should I say a sitting Duma? I don't know. Legendary Julia bonus this week not too significant, just because most of the time she's not going to actually get to attack. Even if she does, she rarely one-shots stuff unless she has effective damage against them, or they just have low res pulse like Reagan. Then it's pretty feasible, but not sure what they're doing here. Maybe they're trying to feed SP to someone. Let's see. Is she happy? Yep. Some SP farming. And right here is an Elimine. Kind of interested in like people's positionings of Elimine. By the way, I'm just gonna keep calling her Elimine from here on out. I don't really... I can't be bothered to figure out how to pronounce her name correctly, but the positioning of Elimine is kind of interesting. I don't know if they really just want to prevent Glyph from getting some effects going off. I don't really know what the purpose of having Elimine in column 2 was. Maybe it was just they didn't bother to rearrange units. Who knows? But of course, the classic strat with Elimine against this team is, of course, you can proc it on Duma, so he doesn't get his upheaval. Of course, they didn't have any structures there in the first place, so this doesn't matter. But the biggest one is in column 3, where Oder has Cav. That way, Ascended Leg Yarn cannot get her bow procs, because our only way of proccing the bow is via that home Cav he has. So because of that, Marth has a much better matchup against Leg Yarn than he normally would. Because otherwise, Leg Yarn gets the full plus 12 to all stats on top of plus 6 attack and speed. It would have been pretty devastating, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Probably wouldn't have mattered too much, but at the end of the day, Erica is not going to do too much because attack speed menace is not a thing. But Marth misses the kill, and so Erica can attack again, except for the fact that, of course, Vantage is up on Brave Marth, so you don't actually get to attack again. And a good use of Nudge there to position Shara for the ether structure. At this point, if they want to, they can break everything, but kind of an interesting way to do it. Probably, again, farming SP. Now, of course, we all know how good Elimine is, so the next best thing that you should do on offense is to run through them. Jokes aside, not entirely sure how viable this is. This is more of a super carry dependent game, but you don't see Lloyd and Nino too often either, so that's cool. Of course, Lloyd's Refine is not the greatest, but with 3 Elimine, you do have a good amount of damage reduction, so it could possibly. I believe it's roughly, it's 65.7% damage reduction or something with the 3 elements in range. They only have 2 here. And they get Panic Mannered. So Sundered Leg aren't going to get absolutely obliterated there. Odor is just going to be going after Elimine, of course, not even close. So they don't even bother healing Lloyd here, which honestly, I don't feel like that was the correct play. But here, of course, Legendary Julia is in Wings of Mercy range, so theoretically Olivia could dance if she was not doing more than 5 damage, which becomes less than 5 after damage reduction, but the AI doesn't care about that, so rip to us. We could have definitely picked up a kill there if Olivia didn't attack, but so be it, that's how it goes. And Lloyd unable to take out Duma, but it's not like we can capitalize on that anyways. Yeah, I don't feel like triple Elimine is really worth it. I feel like at most you'll want 2, because having too many support heroes on your team does generate a bit of other problems, but we're not going to talk about that in this episode. Here we are with some more shenanigans. Have ourselves Winter Bernadetta with a Gale Force squad. Let's see what they're up to here. Looks like they're going to do a reciprocal 8 Wings of Mercy strat here. So, okay. Thing is, it works out for them here regardless. Even if Duma wasn't there, they have Fury. So they can, as long as they get into combat and don't die, they're going to have a unit in Wings of Mercy. And of course, with Carla's speed-based stealth damage that even works AoE specials, she can pack a lot of damage. So, we're going to get the Gale Force going here. Alright, so they use the duo skill, and not entirely sure what their game plan was there, assuming that Bolt Trap was real, but definitely not the right play to make. I did make this defense a bit harder to Gale Force because I don't have a structure here, so you can't just corner Legendary Julia and call it a day. You actually do have to leave a unit alive, but you just need to be able to tank them. So it would probably be, I don't know, Duma? But, you know, Duma's attack is non-negligible, so who knows. And, well, more dual Lin and company. Definitely have not seen as many dual Lins as we used to. Probably just because there's a lot of far save teams, and if you don't go absolute ham into buffing dual Lin's attack stat, she's not going to be able to win those matchups. But she's, if you, and of course with stuff like duo's hindrance around and people running multiple duo and harmonized heroes, it's hard to get your duo and harmonize to either destroy the duo's hindrance or to unproc it. So, but of course, a lot of people still have kind of mess setups, so you can still get ways to get some value here, but Grima against Legendary Julia, not a great matchup, so it's just going to be a roller coaster from here. And, well, with their remaining units, they probably can't win. But let's see what they do here. They decide to go after and bait our Legendary Julia, but ours is faster than theirs, so we can just one round KO her and then absolutely obliterate with icebergs. So with that, Naga just has no chance of winning, especially since she does a whopping 1 damage to Legendary Julia. Because of Light and Dark, can't target Julia's defense. Ripperonis. And here we see our first dual Crom. I'm sure we'll see much more of him as time goes on. Definitely a pretty solid unit. And honestly, an arena is just absolutely broken in arena because, especially if you can loop the cooldown acceleration, you can just casually pre-charge all your specials before you go into any combat, and then you can just repeat it. But for Legendary Crown right now, the biggest problem is getting Deadeye out because more and more, as more units gets released, he needs Deadeye to be able to pick up the kill, but he can still pick up kills with Deadeye against even some common green walls, which is pretty solid, not gonna lie. At this point, unfortunately, we don't have enough firepower here to deal with Mystic Boost, Duocrom. Duma can't really do much either because Odor already moved. All they have to do is prevent Duocrom from being in range of Legendary Julia, and that's pretty much all they need to care about at this point. With Olivia gone, there's nothing our team can do unless they mistap. Speaking of mistapping on offense this week, we did make a few mistaps. Some of them were fatal, others were not so fatal, so we didn't need to worry about it too much. Here they get a rigged kill on Legendary Julia, but honestly did not matter. They could have just brought in a healer or someone to attack first if Crown couldn't kill. And so Duma doing a bit of damage, but nowhere enough to one-shot, so rip Duma. But now that Elimine is a thing, I just feel like there's absolutely nothing Duma can get for, for a remix that will help him out against her. I guess you technically, if you really wanted to, you could compete for res against her. Of course, but you know, Elimine starts with a higher base res, so it's an uphill battle for sure. And it wouldn't really be worth it. At that point, you might as well do something else. But here, the Cecilia is not running a TA, Refined Tome of Order, so thanks to Leigh-Yarn's massive attack stat from all the buffs on both sides, both Cecilia and Leigh-Yarn, he was maxed out on attack, and that's quite a bit of attack. Ascended Leigh-Yarn is basically just the stat ball. That's pretty much it. For reference, 73, 79, 85, and then 97 attack. Maxed out on the effects of Flame of Moose spells, so yeah, not great. And here we have the classic Brave Hector. Of course, this team basically has absolutely no chance of beating Brave Hector. One, because we can't survive the bonfire counterattack, and they're not even running a seal here. And two, there's damage reduction via Elimine and Flame. That's not going to end well. So if they only give Elimine support, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because they're long baiting, so not many of our units are actually going to get to attack. Elimine once again proccing on Brave Erica, so she can't get attack speed bonus for a bit more attack. Not that it matters, because there's 51% damage reduction, so she wasn't going to be one-round KOing him any time of the week. Legendary Julia doesn't die, but because Brave Hector was out of special fighter range, but she couldn't get Dance to attack again, so Ripperonis. Odor going to do a little bit because of course he has Brutal Shell, but again, 50%, 51% damage reduction, which for most cases is effectively the same thing as 50% damage reduction, so don't need to pick up the ether structures because it's the end of the season thing, but rip to us. And with that, that's all the replays for now. Quite a few losses this week, and most of them did contribute to us losing lift. but we're just getting back up to Vault of Heaven anyways, so it doesn't really matter. It's more for the Dragon Flower that we get for defense. Like we technically maybe lost out on 2, but not gonna worry about it. Legendary Julia bonus was fine this week. Doing the Don't Activate Traps challenge was definitely pretty difficult on some maps, but we managed to work it out. I think we had a couple of unit sacks this week, but not the end of the world. Since again we're just going back up to Vault, and next week, yeah, it's not gonna be good. Not bonus is already a huge problem because that plus 10 HP makes it much harder for Nino to take her out. That's the damage reduction with HP is too much for us, but Resonant Battles we've already seen, not anywhere near staying in level 20. Legion's Battles we're doing okay because it's Earth season, so we could use Earth Blessings to score decently. Arena 3,870 was not staying, so I was like, okay, we'll just bump up all our scores by 2, or all our matches by 2 points, aka 764 match, to get absolute overkill. I don't know what the cutoff is, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like 3,874 or something. 72 is probably too suspicious, but yeah, we were just running this team this week. Despite us having Legendary Chrom and Plumeria on this team, some of the matches are just still difficult because of the new arena maps, and in particular units, cough cough, Duo Dagger, and of course the bonus Harmonized Azura, definitely giving us some problems for sure, but we did alright this week in arena. I actually goofed a 766 match this week because of a mistap, and then I needed to burn 30 something crests after that to get our final run score, but you know, it happens, so feels bad, man. Arena Assault, pretty surprised 5,339 is scoring this low, or ranking this low I should say, but I guess that's a given since we keep getting more fancy schmancy legendary heroes that people want to build up, so natural. And of course the new high scoring units like Duo Chrom. So yeah, I don't know how much longer we can hang in top 1k Arena Assault without doing some heavy fishing, but at this point we'll be back when the results drop in. Alright, Wi-Fi has been a bit slow, but looks like it didn't stop us from getting our top 20k rewards. And well, I don't know what we're doing this season. At least it's Bolt Tower bonus, so we have an extra space. Let's just place this before I forget. People can get free setup if they so choose. It isn't water season, so I'll probably just get putting in Legendary Julia. Bonus stats aren't really going to help us out too much, but what are you going to do about it? Let's see, Resonant Battles. Also, we have a lot to do in Summoner Duels. I've not been farming up to 1600 favor yet because the only unit I have at 1500 is Legendary Chrom, and he's on an old team that they don't want to use for this set of captain skills. Currently running Brave Erica because I feel like the +1 movement buff is better used on melee units. That's just my opinion, because if you hyper extend your ranged units range, basically all you get out of that is you have larger threat range, which honestly is fine, but if someone can just plop one of their units there, and you know, you're probably not going to want to exchange your super high mobility ranged unit for some rando unit they plop in range, so I don't really feel like it has that much worth, for me at least, with the units I have. Anyways, last thing here, I just wanted to show what the heck's happening in Roker Sieges this round in my, I think it's called World, I forget. Yeah, it's called World. I have to do another run, but yeah, it's kind of competitive. People are definitely burning their Havoc axes left and right. Looks like now the cutoff's 2 million. The cutoff was 1.6, so they're not going too much more, but as you can see, I'm one of the few people that still have a quote-unquote perfect score. Probably because of the legendary Ike. He has Warding Breath, and of course, that can put a wrench into people's strategies, myself included, because I use quadding Effie for dealing damage. So every time I quad with Effie, I have to reset his special cooldown. Otherwise, I'll proc the Roker special, and that's not ideal in most instances. But anyways, enough rambling. That's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Heath the Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!